Okay, YouTube, I wanted you to see what I've been doing here. I'm building me a brake disc forge. And my brake disc was warped. I started off, as you can see, I got bolts in there. And I was going to bolt it down like everybody does on YouTube when they make a forge. But my disc was warped so bad that I would have been leaking too much air around that flange. So I just went ahead and left my bolts in there, and I welded all the way around the flange to seal the crack that was between the flange and the brake disc. When this paint dries, which I painted it so that nobody could see my nasty welds, because I'm not a good welder. I weld good enough to suit myself, and that suits me. But when this dries, I'm going to turn it over and show you what else I did. Okay, I had already drilled my holes for my bolts to go through, so I had to leave them in so I wouldn't lose the air there. So I went ahead and welded those carriage bolts down to where they're blocking the holes so no air can get out. And I cut a piece of round steel, and as you can see, I spot welded it in there, and I just drilled random holes around that piece of steel to keep the clinkers from falling down in my pipe and plugging my pipe up. So when I get a little bit further with this again and start assembling it, I'll get back with you again. Okay, YouTube, now I'm getting back started on this again. It's time for the assembly. I bought a 2-inch flange to go around here because the smaller flange wasn't big enough to cover the bottom. So I got me a 1-foot piece of 1.5-inch pipe. Well, that don't go there first yet. We put in this reducer to go down to 1.5 inch. We get that screwed in there. We got this 1-foot piece of pipe here. It's a nipple that we screw into that. Well, I'll tighten all this up a little bit better later. I just want to get it together right now to show you how I did this. Once we get that in, get it all tightened up, then we go to this here T and we screw on this T. Now this is where we're going to put in the air to the trunk of the forge. And once we get that put in, we have another 6-inch nipple here that goes in here. This is where we're going to shoot our air in. And we have another 4-inch nipple that screws in the bottom. When that's all tightened up, we have a cap that goes on here so that when we put our coal in and it drops down through this pipe, it won't fall out that cap. This is how we're going to clean it out. I've done something that you don't see a lot of people do on the next part here. Is I'm going to use an air mattress inflator to blow the air into this. And what I'm going to do here is I got this reducer that goes from 1.5 inch down to 3/4. And that's how I'm going to blow my air into my forge. When I get all this tightened up, I got a hose that comes off of my air mattress inflator that'll come around here and it'll stick right into this hole here, so that when we turn this over, when we get this all turned over and I get this all tightened up where it don't fall apart like it just did, and we turn it over, this is what it will look like. There'll be more updates on this in the future, how I'm going to mount it how I'm going to run it. And the next video, we should be seeing me do something with the forge. At least trying it out to see how it works. Thank you very much for this video. If you like it, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and God bless, and we'll see you on another video.